In the summer of 2020, our student advocacy group started meeting with the administrators at Cairn University to propose ideas of change for a more diverse and inclusive environment. Unfortunately, we were met with promises that have proven to be either empty or incomplete.
When I saw Cairn advertised, I saw it as a rich and diverse community of learning and where believers could learn together. But when I got here, I found it to be a place where there wasn't even a clear system put in place for how to handle incidents of racial discrimination and harassment, and how to do so with support from the university.
There were multiple instances where I had to reach out to professors or those in authority above me regarding issues that I felt bordered the line regarding issues such as race, equity, and human dignity. Unfortunately, many times when I reached out to seek this clarification, only to find out that they had an even deeper instilled sense of racism than I had originally been aware of.
In November of 2020, we brought together a group of students of color to meet with the president and share some of their experiences at Cairn University.
One major theme throughout this conversation was about how students felt that the university lacked an accessible and understandable system for how to safely report incidents of racial discrimination with support from the university.
This meeting was in November of 2020. It was a full year later, in November of 2021, that it was first suggested to us to present these same concerns to the Title IX coordinator. And this meeting came after we had already attempted to present these concerns to the Board of Trustees, who refused to meet with us. What this communicated to us was that our concerns about making Cairn a safe and supportive environment for students of color were by no means a priority of Cairn University.
What we expected from the university, just based off of what was marketed to us as prospective students, it was a lot different than what we actually experienced. We began to notice a pattern of Cairn University closing down important avenues of diverse thought and inclusion, starting with the cancellation of the Urban Ministry First Year program.
I expected a diverse environment that passionately embrace perspective and diverse thought that was produced from the first year program that I was a part of. What I got was a school that would soon shut down these programs.
If you're familiar with the history of Cairn, it was actually located in the city of Philadelphia. The manner in which they left the city, it was hard, it was tragic, it was sad, it was very much like they didn't see the city worth engaging in, they didn't see the students here worth engaging in. But with the development of the first year urban ministry program, I think a lot of us saw kind of this glimmer of hope that Cairn was ready to re-engage, ready to follow a different path. The Urban Ministry First Year program was an intensive, immersive cohort experience where students came down to the city and really learned how to engage with the urban population, the marginalized, in a manner that really spoke to what we saw Jesus do.
And it was a really, really impactful and humbling experience to be able to be a part of this program, as I learned so many new things. However, by my sophomore year, it was announced that these programs were shutting down.
This was something that made Cairn unique, and so many students did it, and it just disappeared.
I was so excited to be a part of the social work program at Cairn University. It was a program that embraced diverse curriculum, had a diverse faculty, really taught us to be biblically minded, well-educated, and professionally competent. Then came the news that the president and the board were deciding to shut down the School of Social Work.
Each time that I thought that Cairn was maybe teetering in this beautiful direction, I just felt it sliding backwards. And this really came to a climax when we heard whispers of the School of Social Work closing down, and I was like, what?
This was, again, disappointing and confusing news.
For like half a century, it was well respected in both secular and Christian circles. It was a beautiful, diverse, rich program.
There were many reasons the president gave for why they decided to shut down the program.
The Council on Social Work Education, or CSWE for short, wrote an open letter to the university in response to their decision in shutting down the social work program. The CSWE stated that the particular changes that the president cited were in contradiction with the university's biblical position in the 2022 accreditation standards, actually remained the same since the 2008 and 2015 accreditation standards. The CSWE also mentions that, in fact, what has changed in the 2022 accreditation draft is the inclusion of more language about social workers understanding the pervasive nature of racism in our society, as well as understanding how diversity and different experiences with equity and inclusion characterizes and shape the human experience.
When asked if the president would address the bullying and harassment that social work students had faced after the closure announcement, he said he would on an agreed date and chapel speaking event. However, he never addressed this.
There's a pattern that we've noticed regarding the university's responses to racial issues that occur on campus.
The pattern that we've seen is one where responses are provided that give the appearance of restorative action, but ultimately do not address the core and the root of the problems at hand.
For example, in the summer of 2020, after the murder of George Floyd, the president provided 2 letters to the Cairn community addressing the current cultural moment. In the second letter, the president mentioned and acknowledged Cairn's history in teaching the Curse of Ham, which is a racist heresy that have been perpetuated by the university for generations. In this letter, there were many words of remorse and sadness about the university's historical involvement in teaching this heresy. But from this, we have not witnessed any restorative actions that produce change or promoted healing after generations of damage and hurt this heresy caused, especially to the humanity and dignity of people of color.
Since the events of the summer of 2020, a new resource has been added to the Cairn community, and one that we helped strategize to create. This new center that has been developed has been intended to be a place where students of color in particular can find resources and support specifically in relation to issues of equity and diversity. However, over this past fall semester, there was an incident that I contacted this center about and received no reply. Although the resources provided by the center have proven valuable, they do not handle the core of these issues.
It's very clear that the center has not been designed or empowered in such a way that they can successfully and adequately and holistically support students of color, especially in issues of discrimination.
In every attempt that we as a group of students have made to partner with the university to strategize solutions to a lot of these issues, the responses we have been given have proven either empty or incomplete.
We were often made verbal promises from them, and we felt like those promises were broken.
And it was very disheartening. It seemed like the time that we had spent with them was filled with empty words. This is what eventually propelled us to meet with, or to request to meet with the board, which we were ultimately denied.
The stories that we share in this video, we share as students who have actively tried to work with administration over the last almost 2 years to bring about these changes.
We met with student life. We've met with the president of the university. We've met with so many different people, and almost at the conclusion of those 2 years, we're still talking about the same things. And we're trying to do this because we care about Cairn. Most of us are seniors. We're not doing this for us at this point anymore. We're about to leave. This isn't for us. This is for all the people who's going to come after us.
Now we're telling our story to point out and hopefully help Cairn see how important these issues are to us.
So if our story resonated with you at all, if you felt moved by what you heard in this video, then all we ask is that you go on Cairn's social media via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and let them know how it made you feel or think. And we also ask that you share or repost this video.